I just point to the logo on my chest and tell them, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, hey. Hit it up hard, hit it with a strike. From the national anthem to the bottom of the night. I'm in Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, ego, Slammy, hey. You already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. We should know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 374 of the Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. Ben Fadden here with the engaged Jim Russell. What's up, man?
Engaged? Like I'm awake, Jim Russell?
Another one. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, I get it. The engaged. Oh, I'm an idiot.
There we go. Jim's an idiot. Welcome to the show.
Engaged.
Everyone that doesn't know Jim Russell, there we go. Jim's an idiot. There we go. Oh man.
Right over the head.
Right over the head.
Engaged. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously Jim Russell hosts San Diego Sports 760, John and Jim, wrap-up show, a lot of stuff. Thanks for the time. We'll do some Padres predictions here on this show. Opening day, obviously, tomorrow, Blake Snell on the mound. Was not expecting that for opening day, but we'll see how that goes. So let's just start with some over-unders here. I'm going to start not with one of the big four, but Trent Grisham, just over-under 19 and a half home runs for him this year.
I'm going to go under on that one. But I think that he'll have a much better year than he did last year. I think that last year was rock bottom for him. And with the amount of help around, guy has literally zero pressure. He has no pressure on him to perform. So I think that's going to help him. I also think that he's changed his batting stance a little bit. He's more upright. And I think that by doing that at the end of last year, it showed that like, this is what I should be doing, because that's when he had his most success in the postseason, by changing his batting stance a little bit. So I still think that, he's going to play really good defense in the outfield. And if he just hits 240, then it's an amazing upgrade for Trent Grisham and this team. 240 in the big leagues, you're like, okay, whatever. OPS probably, last year was like 610, or it was just
everything was terrible. Yeah.
Everything was bad for him. So if you can get like a 240 average with like a 715 OPS, 15, 16, 17 home runs, like plays Gold Glove defense in the outfield, that to me is all this Padres team needs from Trent Grisham. But I'm going to go under on the 19 and a half home runs.
Yeah, I agree with what you're talking about, what the Padres need. I'm going to go just over that. He hit 17 home runs last year. It sucked. So I think he can get to 20 with a more aggressive Trent Grisham this year. Over under 900 OPS for Juan Soto this year. I'm definitely going to say over on that.
I thought you were going to say over under 900 home runs for Juan Soto this year. I was going to take the over. OPS well over 900. He's lock it in for over 400 on base percentage, and I think lock him in for over 500 slugging percentage. Right there, you got. I suck at math, but 900 right there. So yeah, he's going to be pushing 950, maybe even 1,000 OPS if he has one of those special years. But easily over 900 OPS for Juan Soto.
Yeah, it was mind-boggling to me how some fans last year were like down on this guy just because of what they saw of him in a Padres uniform, not looking at his like Hall of Fame start of his career with the Nationals. And they're like, oh, well, I got to see him do it in a Padres uniform. Yeah, of course. But it's Juan Soto. Like you shouldn't be worried about Juan Soto.
Yeah, you wanted him to do better last year. Like he admitted he did not have a good second half with the Padres. He started to heat up in the postseason, but he'll be the first one to tell you that he did not play well. And so even with that, it's like, you're right. Dude is top 5 hitter in baseball, top 5 player in baseball. When he's at his best, he's like top 2 in baseball. And it's just, this guy is a superstar. He's one of the best in the game. And I think that everybody's saying it, but this year is going to be a year where Juan Soto really shows everybody, like, yeah, I'm one of the best in the game, and I deserve to be paid like the highest player in baseball, and that only benefits the Padres.
Yeah, I mean, because Seidler's willing to do it, and we're trying to win right now. Over under 120.5 games for Tatis.
All right, so he'll miss the first 20.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the oh man. I'm gonna go with the over, but just slightly, like
Just, yeah.
121, 122 games. Like he's not gonna play every day to start out with, I feel like. And
I'm kind of putting like a 10-day IL somewhere in there.
right, because look, Tatis, his career right now is he is one of the best players in baseball and until he gets rid of the if part, if healthy, then it's going to be we'll wait and see. And I can't pencil him in to play every single day until he shows it. He averages, I want to say, take away the 60-game season, barely over 100 games played for the Padres a year. So even saying that he's going to play 125 games for the Padres, I feel like that's a lot because he hasn't played that many like ever in his career. So just barely over. And if he does that, then that's a success for the Padres, success for him. And I think that means that the Padres are going to do really well if Fernando Tatis Jr. is playing 122 games for the Padres this year.
Yeah, in his career so far, he has 273 games.
He has more minor league. He has more minor league games than he has more minor league at bats, than major league at bats.
Yeah, and he's been in the big leagues technically since 2019.
Yeah, so 4 years.
Yeah,
well, coming up on 4th year, but
yeah, over under 4.5 All-Star appearances from Padres. I've got slightly over. I think they can get at least 5.
All right, we'll go Manny, Soto, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Hader. So yeah, I'm gonna go 5.
Bogarts. I think Bogarts or Cronenworth could get like as a replacement.
That's why.
Like Cronenworth, obviously, first base. I mean, he's not going to just because of the names there. With Bogarts,
he'll be playing a lot of second base too.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be in that first base category. And
we'll see. We'll see what they do.
With second baseman, what's the fan vote? It's usually Albies or Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, I mean, but he's been an all-star the last 2 years. And last year, Jake Cronenworth didn't have the best of years. Like if you look at Jake Cronenworth last year, you're not saying all-star year. You're saying good year, but not all-star year. And I think if you're the Padres, you make Matt Carpenter your first baseman to start the year, for like the voting purposes, and then you put Cronenworth at second. I think that would be better for him.
Yeah.
And of course, he's going to play a lot of first base this year. He's going to play a lot of second base this year. He's going to play everywhere. He's going to be like the super, super, super utility guy. And I think with replacements go, and if Cronenworth has a good year, already a 2-time All-Star, like he has cachet, I would give it at 5 right now. Bogarts is a big name around the sport, and
I was thinking one of the starters. I was thinking Manny, Soto. Who would I have? Manny, Soto, Tatis, Hader, and then one of the starters, Snell, Darvish, or Musgrove. One of them. I know it's deep. The NL starting group is deep, but I think the Padres are supposed to be arguably the best team in the National League. To not have a starting pitcher, I just don't see that.
Yeah, I gotta wait to see with Snell. He's got to prove that he can actually pitch well in the first half for once, and then Darvish, Musgrove. Yeah, for sure, they could be all stars as well. But you're right. There's a lot of good pitching in the National League, and with that rule of you need one player from each team, that always hurts other players, that are maybe deserving because they're on winning teams. So easily 2 that are a lock, which is Manny and Soto. And I think actually you can put 3 in there. Like Hader if he just does well, he's going to be
especially with Diaz out.
Yeah,
Like
Diaz is
that's
out.
easily. It should
Yeah.
be easily.
So fan voting wise, fan voting wise, you got Machado and Soto. Those are locks. And I think the other couple would be Hader, Cronenworth. Put Bogarts in there as well. I got to wait on Tatis. Missing 20 games to start the year. Hopefully, if he doesn't get injured before then, he's got to actually play well because he won't be, voted in by the fans. I don't feel like. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I'm just gonna go with those 5 right now.
What about over under 90 games for Campy?
90 games.
I've got just under.
Oh, I got way under there. I got
Way
way
under. Okay.
I mean,
this is the year. Like, there's 2 catchers. It's Nola and Campusano. Like,
that means
I don't see Severino getting a ton. I don't see Sullivan coming up and getting a ton.
So you see Campusano catching more than Nola.
I'm saying getting in games. So I'm not saying,
just like on his card. I thought you meant catching 90 games.
No, just 90 games.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do think that towards the end of the year, Campusano will be, hot take, the starting game, but I don't think that he's going to be catching a lot to start. He'll be playing unless Nola gets hurt. Then
Right.
definitely there. But 90 games, like as a DH possibly, or like just in there as like pinch hitting role, like is that what you're talking about here?
Yeah, 90
Okay.
games. Just if you pinch hit or anything, it's 90. I've got just under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under 2 there.
Because I was looking at Alfaro. He got in a little over 80 games. I know he's more of a veteran, but you can't have Nola catching all of the time, and Campy's the only other guy on the roster.
And Nola is, getting injured right now, and so you need to have multiple catchers, so yeah, I think Campusano, the way that he has progressed, he's going to get a good amount of starts as the season goes on. I feel like, and if his bat shows up, then it's going to be hard to take him out of the lineup. If he can be a decent catcher behind the plate, and his bat shows up, like, you can't tell me that Nola's. I mean, if Nola's Yadier or Molina, then I get it. Then Nola has to be in there, but he's not. So I feel like that's going to put Campusano in a position that the Padres are forced to put him in there to catch more games.
Over under 84.5 RBIs for Jake Cronenworth. I've got over.
Yeah, where's he going to hit? Like 6th in the lineup, 5th in the lineup,
5th or 6th. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to get the guys in. So I'm gonna go. You could see like 4 guys on this team have 85 plus RBIs.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of them because he's going to be in the middle of the order when you have Soto, Manny, and Bogarts in front of him.
Yeah, I think that's an easy over. Okay, so now more to just predictions here, team predictions. Who will be the Padres MVP this year? I mean, Soto, it's the easy choice, and that's what I'm going with. But I feel like it's just Soto. I mean, Manny's going to be right there, but Soto had a down year last year, and that's people's career years.
Yeah, and sometimes the easiest choice is the right choice. It's not like, don't outthink the room, guys. Let's not outthink the room here. It's Juan Soto. If Juan Soto has a massive year, then that is a great thing for the Padres. It's a great thing for him. And I think from what we've seen in spring is whatever, but still hearing him talk about how he's seen the baseball, hearing him talk about, how he did last year and how he wants to be better. Also just seeing on the field how he is right now, nagging injuries aside. Yeah, it's hard to think that Juan Soto's just, not going to have this massive year.
How many Padres do you see in the top 5 in the MVP at the end of the year? I think 2.
Yeah, I would see
kind of like the Cardinals last year.
I mean, you can say Manny and Soto, if they're healthy, top 5.
I think Tatis can be top 10. I think that he's not going to be in the top 5 because you know how voters are. Oh, he wasn't helping his team at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, no, if this team does well, if this team does like what we think they're going to do, hopefully, and you have one of the best offenses in baseball, hopefully, you're going to see 3 or 4 guys in the top 15.
Yeah. Padres Cy Young this year. I was going between Joe Musgrove and Blake Snell, believe it or not. If there's a year for Blake to do this, be Blake Snell, the second half Blake Snell for the whole season. Isn't it this year? Free agent year. I mean,
Yeah, you hope.
he's
You
more
hope.
ramped up. He's better. He's ready for the season, unlike past years, which still doesn't make sense why he wasn't ready. Why was he doing what he's doing, or why wasn't he doing what he was doing this year in those years? That doesn't make sense. But hey, what matters right now is what he's doing right now, and he looks good. Last outing was pretty darn good against the Angels. I'm going with Blake. Musgrove's right there, though.
Yeah, the thing with Blake Snell, it's he is who he is, I feel like, at this point, and what he is a 5-inning pitcher, and he's gonna give you a lot of outings where it's 4 1/3, maybe 3 2/3, and then he's gonna have a run where he's gonna go 6 1/3, 6 1/3, 5 1/3, 5 1/3, and he's gonna look really good, and then he's gonna go back to 3 1/3 and 4 1/3, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be frustrating at times. I just feel like that's who he is. The pitch clock with him, he's a very slow pitcher, along with Yu Darvish. How is he going to, deal with it over the course of the season? I think that maybe these pitchers will probably say, "Oh, you're making too much of it." Well, okay, then let's go out and see it. I just have to wait and see with him. After the last 2 starts of the seasons, the way he has pitched, he's pitched great in the second half, but if you're the opening day starter, they expect you to be the guy. And with Musgrove missing a couple, maybe one start, and then Darvish getting back into things, they're going to need Blake Snell to just give solid outings. Doesn't have to be Cy Young. Doesn't have to go out there and give you 7, but can you give me just 5, 1-2 runs, and we'll be good to go. And this offense needs to carry the way to start the season, I feel like. So, and Cy Young for the rotation, yeah. Again, the easy pick is the right pick, I feel like, and it's Joe Musgrove. You always trust him. You always can rely on him. He's gonna, not let you down. And if he has bad starts, it's one of those things where you don't worry about it because Joe's Joe. And so I'm going with Joe. I'm going with Joe Musgrove there.
Yeah, it's close for me, and I'm hoping that the pitch clock can actually help Blake because he can just stop overthinking things and just get on the mound and keep pitching instead of being on the back of the mound and holding his hat and breathing, 3 times before delivering a pitch. Just stop thinking and just go pitch. Hopefully that can help him. Comeback player of the year.
Tatis.
Tatis.
Does that count?
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't play last year, so
right. I wanted to go. Yeah, that can count. I wanted to look at it from who had a down year last year and who's gonna have a better year, and so Grisham's the obvious pick there, and then Tatis is obviously just the obvious pick on who would be eligible for it from the Major League Baseball award level.
Yeah, and another guy too, if you want to put in that category, you can put Josh Hader in there because Josh Hader's numbers weren't great last year. He had a great postseason and he had a great final month with the Padres. But overall, Josh Hader, I would think, would tell you 5 ERA last year. Are you kidding me? That's not me. And so I think you could put Josh Hader in that category as well as having a huge, comeback year.
What about home run leader? I've got Tatis. Even with the less games, he can still make that up. The guy hit 40 plus home runs in 2021 in 130 games with one arm.
Yeah. Manny's, you can pencil him in for 30. I think Juan Soto, you can pencil him in for, he's not really a home run guy. Juan Soto's not a guy that's going to hit 40 home runs. But he can give you 32, 35 max. I just don't see him hitting 39 home runs, 40 home runs next year. Yeah, if Tatis is healthy and plays 120 games next year, then yeah, you could have 35 home runs, which you don't put it past him. So yeah, I'll go with I'll just go with the safe answer. I'll go with Manny Machado because I know that he's always going to post.
Yeah, you can definitely count on that. Unsung hero for this year. For me, it's Crony. Someone that nationally is not going to get the attention because of all the stars, but he's going to have one heck of a year.
I'm going to go with you ready for this? Michael Wacha.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Michael Wacha because they're
Even
going
with the injury history?
Even with the injury history, he had a good year last year. I think they're going to, they're going to need one of these pitchers to step up here. And then one of the new guys like Seth Lugo and Wacha, and you got, Weathers starting the year with the team. You're going to see Jay Groom, I don't know if he's going to start, but you're going to see Jay Groom at some point in this season. And I think that I'm going out on a limb here, and I'll take Michael Wacha. And by saying that, I probably doomed him, and he's going to be hurt the first week of the season. So I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, Jim's an idiot.
There we go.
Blame it on Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to the big questions that we all really care about, playoffs, division, World Series. But first, just wanted to tell everyone about Gaglione Bros. They're going to be available at Petco Park. They're at Snapdragon Stadium. Visit GaglioneBros.com for their entire menu, their Friars Road location. Great garlic fries, cheesesteaks. Have you tried that, Jim?
I've been there before. It's great. There's one in where is it? It's in not Mission Valley, but it's right near Snapdragon Stadium, over the bridge. And I used to live over there, so I would go there once every couple of weeks, and delicious.
Yes. The cheesesteak fries too. All right, let's get to, will the Padres just postseason kind of end of regular season? Will they win the NL West this year? For me, it's like yes. If there's ever a year for them to do it, this seems like the year.
Yeah. I mean, this is the year for them to win the National League West. The only concern, it's not about this team. It's just about it. You got the injury factor. That's always something that plays with every team, and it's a weird feeling. Like I was thinking about this morning. The hype for this team is 100 wins, World Series, MVPs, Cy Young. Like the sky's the limit, right? And that always scares me because whenever fan bases do that, or whenever national media does that about any team that is loaded or looking to break records or whatever the case may be, it usually always doesn't end well. So that does scare me, is that like, yeah, the hype is through the roof with this team. The expectations are through the roof, as they should be, but you just don't, with it being the expectation so high, the crash, if that does happen, will feel even worse than it did last year. So that does scare me a little bit, but the talent on this team speaks for itself. And if they stay relatively healthy, there is like a 0% chance that this team won't be in the postseason. And it's a pretty good chance that they have win the NL West. So yeah, I'll say they'll win the NL West. But again, I don't care. The Dodgers took a step back. It's still the Dodgers. And there's going to be that one team this year that the Padres will have problems with. And you're like, how the hell did they lose to that team? Yeah. It's just inevitable because it's baseball. So yeah, I'm not going to say like 115 wins. I know you're going to ask me that question in a bit here, but I'll say NL West. Yeah, I'll say they'll win it.
Yeah. I don't want to ask that win total question because I don't really care. I care about the postseason. I care about, getting to the postseason and then go winning, because that's what matters. Who gives a crap about the NL West title if they don't go win at all? Like for me, it's a World Series or bust year. I said that yesterday. What do you think? Like what do you, a failure making it to the World Series would not be a failure, but what's a disappointing season? Is it not winning the World Series?
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal. They've openly said it. They said it hundreds and hundreds of times. They're not shying away from it. It's World Series or bust. And if they don't win a World Series this year, then it will be not a failure of a season, but it will be a disappointment. It will be a huge disappointment with the amount of resources that they put into this team, the amount of money they have spent on this team. that if they do not win a World Series, it's not a failure, but it is a disappointment because in professional sports, you know, you don't spend this type of money and if you don't win, you don't continue to spend this type of money. And I'm not saying that Peter Seidler's going to blow up this team, no chance, but I do think that, you know, win it here in the next couple years, you know, the model of, hey, we're just going to go out and spend all the money in the world is going to be like, well, it's not producing us World Series. It might be producing us a lot of postseason runs and whatever, and that's great. We make a lot of money, but we need to win a World Series. We need to do that now. So if they win the World Series this year, I feel like then the model Padres is set, and they'll feel even more confident in what they're doing, even more confident than what they're, you know, how they feel now, that spending this money is exactly what they should be doing, and it's exactly how they should run this organization. And, you know, we're you know, Padres are an organization now that attracts big time free agents. We'll spend the money on big time free agents. We'll make big time trades. We'll take some risks. And so I think all of that's validated if they win a World Series this year.
What a concept, you know, spending money on really good players and building a really good roster can
Yeah,
maybe
I
win you a
mean,
World Series.
the model that the Miami Marlins are doing is also a model that I really like. So, you know, if the Padres go that route, or if they go the Royals route, you know, I mean, in a couple years, I'm sure that the fan base will be very happy, and I'm sure they'll produce the same amount of excitement. But yeah,
Yeah, let's spend like 30 seconds on the Colorado Rockies because they deserve pretty much that amount of time, like the whole year. How do you think they're gonna do this year? How do you think Dick Monfort's club is gonna
well,
do this year? Do you think they're
well,
gonna get to 500?
you might be talking crap on the Rockies, but they scare me. I'm not even kidding you. They have how many former Padres on their team? How many times have we seen former Padres come back and light the Padres up? They have, like, I think 4 pitchers. They got Dinelson Lamet, they got Pierce Johnson, they got Logan Allen, and they got Brad Hand, and then they got Jerkson Profar that they just signed. You know, one of those guys is going to torch the Padres this year. I don't care about how crappy this team is. It just is inevitable. And they're going to lose to the Rockies this year. Okay. They're not going to sweep the season series from every single team. They're not going to win 162 games. There's going to be times where they're going to be like, what? Like, they could easily lose opening day. You know, it's not out of the realm. Over time, the averages are going to play out and the Padres will be better. But dude, I'm worried about the Diamondbacks. I'm worried about the Giants. I'm worried about the Rockies. Of course, I'm worried about the Dodgers. You know, it's just how it
It feels
is.
like Sean Manaea with the Giants. He's just gonna go shove at Petco Park. You know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course you do. You know that Jerkson Profar is going to go, you know, 6 for 15 this series against the Padres with a home run and 2 doubles.
Yeah.
You know, you know that Sean Manaea is going to have at least one outing this year where he goes 7, gives up 1, strikes out 9. You know, you know that you know, Madden is going to turn into, you know, an all-star this year with the Rockies. And you're like, what the like,
Yeah.
it's just that's what happens. It's just what happens.
Yep. And John and Jim, they'll obviously be there on Thursday to overreact to the Padres' loss to the Rockies after Jerkson Profar hits the go-ahead home run in the 8th inning.
Dude,
That'll
last year when the Diamondbacks walked off the Padres in opening day, it was like DEFCON 1, man.
Yes. Yeah. Robert Suarez and Craig Stammen.
And here's the thing. We're joking for sure.
Yeah.
But there will be fans that if they lose on opening day will be very, very upset.
Yep.
Guarantee it. And if they wins the parade. That's just how this works. It's going to be the ultimate roller coaster this year, because it's not about with the expectations they have this year. Everybody's going to be watching every single game. 162. In the past, it was like, oh, I'll take a week. Like, I can watch this. It's whatever. I'll look at highlights. It's fine. Like, I'm going to a game next weekend, but I don't have to like take time out of my day and like literally plan my day around the Padres game. Now it's completely different. You might miss a couple games, but 95% of the time here, if you're a diehard Padres fan, you're going to be planning your entire days around Padre games because of the expectations and the excitement level and the fact that this team is just freaking stacked. So it's completely different. And, you know, every single loss will be the end of the world. every single win. If they win games 15-2, it's going to be like, this is the greatest team ever. You know?
Yeah.
That's
What
just
a
how it
time
is.
for your show, John and Jim, huh? Aztecs Final Four.
Oh, you heard yesterday?
That seems like that's a dream. Like that didn't as an Aztecs fan, someone who's going to be going there this fall, like that's not something that I sit there and like, oh, San Diego State, yeah, they can make it to the Final Four. That was never in my thought process going into
Dude,
any
I had it.
March Madness or anything like that.
Dude,
Padres
I had it
winning the
scheduled in
World
my
Series.
I had it scheduled in my planner. I was like, Final Four this year, Padres World Series run this year,
What's
MLS
John like?
team coming to
What's
town.
John like right now? He is on cloud 9 or cloud 99, whatever it can be.
He's not saying it, but I know he is very nervous.
Yeah.
He is very nervous. And I think it's more or less not because of the game, but it's because of everything around the game with the broadcast. Like this is the biggest moment for, Ted and for to be at the Final Four with the Aztecs, having a chance to go to the national championship game. So I think he's nervous about that more than the game. But once the game starts and everything's fine, he will be a nervous wreck inside. He will be an absolute nervous wreck. And it's inevitable that the game's going to be close. It's inevitable that it's going to be a nail biter, and inevitable that will like freak the F out and literally die inside.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super happy for everyone involved, and just for obviously John. I mean, this guy has wants bracketologists on in like December to be talking about something that's going to be happening in March. Oh, maybe what seed will the Aztecs be? That's he just loves it so much, and so for this moment to happen, it's great.
He has every single day on his computer tabs open of like KenPom rankings and net rankings, and I look over at him, and sometimes he'll be during the season he'll be watching like Wyoming, Nevada at like 4 p.m. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, dude, bro, I'm watching this game. And like last night, like this is a perfect example of John's college basketball craziness. The NIT semifinals were going on, and it was Wisconsin versus like North Texas.
Yeah.
And the show ended, and there was like 30 seconds left in the Wisconsin North Texas game. Wisconsin's blowing it. John's standing there watching this, and he just looks at me and he goes, am I really sitting here waiting for this stupid Wisconsin North Texas game to end? Yes, I am. Like that's how psycho he is about college basketball.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, that's how I am with Major League Baseball. So
everybody has their thing, and like
I can relate.
Yeah.
I mean, after the Holiday Bowl, so we're at Petco Park watching the fireworks, and San Diego State's playing some random team. I forget who it was at Viejas, and he has it streamed on his computer, and we're just sitting there, and he's driving me home, so we're just waiting there, and he's like, "Wait a minute here, can you wait here a little bit? Like just wait here, I need this lead to be like 15 points, and then we can leave." But yeah, that's just who he is. But I'm super happy for him and all Aztecs fans for this moment. All right, episode 374 with Jim Russell. Jim is an idiot. I'll see him probably tomorrow, opening day. Thank you for coming on, man. And Padres fans, talk to you guys later. See ya.
Peace.